Well, what's up everyone? Mike here, Rusty Garage and Homestead. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go get another load of rock, probably some 3-inch crusher. But you guys have seen, I hooked up to the first gen. Now this truck it's a 93, so that was the last year they made this body style. So that puts it at 32 years old. Now this truck versus Dad's, what we've been hauling with, his is a 04 and a half. Still nothing new, but this truck, I believe from the factory, had 160 or 165 horsepower from the factory, and it's still probably close. I haven't really done a whole lot with it. I did change governor springs, and that's really about it for right now. I'll mess with it more later. But Dad's truck, being a 04 and a half, it's 325 horse, so almost double the horsepower in that truck versus this truck. So it's not really like it's a straight across the board comparison between the two. This truck's got its issues. You know, the brakes suck. I'm relying heavy on the trailer brakes once I'm loaded. It's a slower truck. But compared to what they have out nowadays, that have a lot more horsepower than Dad's 04 and a half and gobs more torque, tons of torque on those new ones. And most of them have built-in engine braking on the exhaust, so that's actually a really nice thing when you're hauling a lot of heavier loads. But those newer trucks are $80,000 to $100,000+, which to me is insane. The pricing of vehicles, how they've got nowadays. I don't know. People keep buying it, so I guess they're going to keep selling it for that. I don't get it. So I am on my way to work right now, but the quarry, the mine, the crusher, whatever you want to call it, it's only about 3 miles past my work. So kind of, saving a trip, if you will, since I'm already having to drive over this way to go to work, to just go ahead and get a load of rock, bring it home in the morning. Then tomorrow after I wake up, I'll dump it. If I remember, I'm curious to see the timing on this, to see how long it takes it to actually pick it up and back down. Obviously, it's not going to be like a dump truck with a PTO powered hydraulic pump. Those things are probably 4 times faster than what this is, but that's okay. We're not comparing this to a dump truck. There's pros and cons to each. Everyone has to make up their own decisions on what works for them. But in this video, I'm wanting to see how well this old Dodge hauls, 6.5 ton of rock, and just see how it does, I guess, for the most part. I haven't loaded this thing down that much before, so this will be at first. But in my mind, this old farm truck, 32-year-old old first-gen Cummins, there's no reason I can't haul what a lot of these newer trucks are hauling within reason. This truck just isn't going to be as fast as the new ones. It's not going to have all the creature comforts, and the new ones I think are just going to work better. But I can't see myself going and spending $80,000 or $100,000 on a pickup truck that I'm going to use around the house, around the farm, back and forth to work, stuff like that, when I can get away with a much cheaper vehicle. Yeah, it's slower. Some people don't like the way this truck looks. I love this old truck, but there's no reason with the low horsepower and the lower torque that these have that it still won't do the job. It just won't be as efficient as newer stuff. I mean, this 16-foot dump trailer that we're hauling, this cost more than the truck did, so that's about normal for me. But we'll pick this back up once we get to the quarry. I've got to, because I'm using a different truck, I've got to weigh. I did grab a sticker for the site-specific training. So if they ask, that's been completed for 2025. But I've got to get an empty weight. I'll record that, just see kind of what we are with this thing. And then we'll go get a load of rock, and then we'll go to work. Well, I'll go to work. You guys can sit there and keep watching the video. I don't ever know what side they're going to load me on. I try to set the camera up where it has a good shot, but it never fails. I'm always in the wrong spot. That is a pretty good load of rock this time. Lift that up. Okay, there's that. I leave a little bit of slack here at the rear, just so when I tighten up the tarp, it ain't pulling just straight on this rope. Do a few of those jobbers, and we're ready to tighten this thing up. Okay, tarp's good. Okay, we are loaded. 6.59 tons of 3-inch crusher. And that was $94.24. So, not too bad. I'm going to get to work. And this thing's tarped. We're all done there. But we'll pick this back up tomorrow after I wake up, and we'll dump it in the driveway. So see y'all then. All right, it is the next day. The truck, it did decent. It is slower once it's loaded for sure, and stopping, just got to use your head, slow down a little before you get to the intersection. But overall, did decent. But something I did notice, I need to look at this trailer again once it's hooked up to Dad's truck. But I would really like to lower that gooseneck just a little bit in there, because whenever I was going, loaded or unloaded, you can tell there's a little less weight on this front axle. And when it was empty, I could see the front axle locking up with the rear axle not, so you could tell there wasn't as much weight on this just because of the angle. Now it did help. Once this thing got loaded, it put more weight on it, squatted the truck a little bit. I do need to go ahead and add a little air to the tires of this thing, but yeah, not too bad. So let's go ahead and get this thing untarped. Get this unloaded. I think I might back up just a little bit. Yeah, probably right into here. I'll back up and we'll just dump it all out right there. This evening, I don't know if I'm gonna get some 1-inch crusher when I go back or what just yet. I'll figure that out when I get to the mine. So these latches on these barn doors, see, that's just a spring-loaded pin, and it comes around, pushes up into that, lashes itself. The e-brake set on the truck, but it was there's enough weight here and it's on this slope. It pushed the truck forward a minute 50 with my little runaround fiasco. Yeah, it pushed the truck forward about 4 feet. I'll show you. So there's that load. You can see where my e-brake was set. It just shoved the old truck. Okay, I'm gonna pull forward and we'll get this out of here and we'll time it going back down. Okay, so we're gonna go down with it. Okay, 59.47 seconds. You guys can see that? That's what it took to lower it. That was maxed out on its third stage. Not bad, about a minute to go down. It was a little more than that going up, but also part of it was me stopping. All right, everyone, this job's done for today. I'll pick up another load here in another couple hours whenever I go to work. Yeah, I'm gonna keep using the first gen on all these nights. All right, everyone, that is gonna do it for this video. I'll go get another load of rock here in a couple hours whenever I go to work. Don't know if I really film any of that. You guys have probably seen enough rock hauling. It's kind of monotonous and boring to a point, but hopefully you guys learned something from it. I do need to get some fill dirt here soon because we've got a pad to build for a new parking spot for my trucks, and then we're going to end up doing a circle drive probably later on this summer. But I'll start having to haul some washed rock and start stockpiling it for that project. But what do y'all think? Back to the original part in this video where I was talking about you not having to have a high dollar expensive truck to haul stuff. I mean, 32-year-old pickup did just fine. It's not as nice creature comforts and low on power compared to some of the new stuff, but it still gets the job done and it's a whole lot cheaper. It did make it home though, all in one piece. We got our load of rock, so it was a success. But everyone, I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. We'll see you guys in the next one. All right, well, it's been a few days. I did end up picking another load of 1-inch crusher run up, get it dumped here, just kind of out of the way for right now. And this 3-inch crusher is packing in pretty good. It's still pretty rough. We're definitely gonna have to put something over it or figure out a way to flatten this out a little bit. But last night we did get a pretty good rain. It rained really hard for a few hours. No washouts in this. That was the plan this whole time, was try to find something to keep washing out. So hopefully that 3-inch crusher is going to do a good job for us. But the last load of rock that I got, you guys can see, this is 57 washed is what that's called. That's 1-inch washed rock basically. So I need to get the tarp off this, get the truck fired up. And I think for now, I'm just going to dump that load right here where it's kind of out of the way, because I need to start stockpiling some of that rock. I need to get some more 3-inch crusher, some more 1-inch crusher. I've still got a lot of rock I need to haul. Now there was 6.11 tons of this washed rock, and it was this stuff was $19.75 a ton, so right around $120 in this load. This washed rock just slides a whole lot better. This thing gets a pretty good angle on it. Okay, that's all the way up. Man, that's high. Okay, so you guys can kind of see the difference in the washed rock versus the crusher run. That is all rock. There's no fines in that. So pretty good stuff. This is stuff you want to use for like French drains and driveways, different things like that. All right, I'm gonna get this trailer unhooked and we're gonna call it a day.